And welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Brant.
I'm Lisa.
And this is Brant versus Lisa live, rating and ranking our comics for the week. Talking about our top 5 anticipated. If you have not checked that out, you can go check out the most anticipated video.
Yes. Or just stay here and see what they were.
Yeah, of course. I'm just saying, like, if you want to come back and watch this later, or if you're watching this post live and you haven't checked that out yet, go back and watch that, and you can see what we picked, and then you can come back to this one and see what we thought of them.
Yes.
So we picked 5 books, and then we had an extra one, which I read. You did not get a chance to read yet.
Not yet. I will read it though.
Yeah,
it's not for this.
Yeah, and we are starting this a few minutes late because we just got back from Avengers.
Yeah.
In game.
So finally got almost to see it
anymore. Yeah, we got to see it. So if anybody joins us live, we might talk a little bit about it, and maybe Game of Thrones as well.
Oh, okay.
Just, it depends on what people want us to talk about, if anybody
shows
up and asks us questions or whatever. But the 5 books that we chose were 5 Years #1 from Abstract. We had War of the Realms #3. We had Marvel Team Up #2. Dragon's Blood #1 from Zenoscope, and Deceased from DC. And then we for the extra, it was the 25-cent DC Year of the Villain.
Yeah, I was going to read it, but then we decided to go see Endgame, so no time.
Yeah, and then we got back, like 5 minutes before this was supposed to go live, and we were like, "Oh crap! Neither one of us have read one of the books," so we had to really rush. That's the word. I was trying to look for another word, but that's the one that came. So so we had to rush and check that out. It looks like the camera's crooked to me, but
it might be.
Oh well,
doesn't matter.
You can deal with it. All right, so we're going to do our number 5, and you can go first this time.
That would be 5 Years.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can tell already I'm not going to like it.
I'm a little surprised.
Really?
But okay. Yeah. I'm a little surprised.
I don't like the what is the word?
Overarching plot?
The big hydrogen bomb or whatever.
Okay.
The big I hate end of the world stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's not only that, but it's going to be all these characters that I don't know because I've only read Strangers in Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just don't know.
You weren't that crazy about Strangers in Paradise either.
I liked the character stuff in the relationship stuff in Strangers in Paradise. I hated the secret organization,
the Parker girls,
and
all that. Okay,
I hated all that.
I like that aspect of it. I do agree with you. The charm of Strangers in Paradise was all about the people.
Yeah.
And then when they introduced those other elements and
it was so
and the Yakuza strange. And it was a little okay. But then years later, once you see all the other books that he's put out, you realize he was building to something bigger.
Yeah, and I get it. That's what he likes to do, but I preferred the.
Yeah. No.
I guess. When I started reading it, it was more like reading a slice of life thing.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, there's this very strange, violent element.
Yeah.
Like that I wasn't expecting.
Like this geek is all of a sudden part of the Yakuza, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely different.
Yeah.
I get it. I guess I don't know. I'll talk about it when I get to it, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe. But I get some of your points, and I'll bring them back up.
Okay.
But my number 5 was Deceased. #1, which I was really disappointed in because I'm a big Tom Taylor fan. I love a lot of his work.
Yeah.
But this just did not grab me at all. I did not like it. I was having a really hard time connecting with it. And this was the first book I read because I was excited about it.
Yeah.
And so it's not like this is the one that I rushed on and everything, but this was the first book I read. I kind of took my time with it. And I did not feel it. It felt like, okay, we're just going to do a zombie story, but we're going to call it something different.
It definitely felt like a zombie story.
Yeah, and I get it, some kind of techno-virus kind of thing, but it still felt like zombie because it's changing them to be bloodthirsty kind of killers, and it's like,
like they have no control over themselves.
Yeah, and it's like, oh man, really, did we have to do this? We couldn't have come up with something unique, something original.
Yeah.
And it's not going to last. And since when can Cyborg regrow a tongue? I mean, he's not completely...
That did seem strange to me. I didn't understand.
Yeah, because part of his body is still organic. He can't regrow a tongue that's part of his body.
Right.
It made no sense to me. So, yeah, I was not feeling it. The art was okay. Yeah, it was a little dark.
It was kind of dark. I didn't love the lettering was light.
Yeah, the lettering was light. It was kind of hard to read, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not invested in the story. I'm not even sure I'm going to continue it.
Right.
So that's why it was my number 5. I give it 2 stars.
Oh.
What did you give 5 years?
2.
Wow. Okay, well, we can go ahead and talk about my number 4, which was 5 years.
Okay.
Number 1, and for me, it's a little different. I love Strangers in Paradise, and I read most. I haven't gotten to read the last issue yet, but I read most of that last the 25-year.
I haven't read that part yet. I should go back and read that.
I've not read any of Rachel Rising. I've not read any of Motor Girl, so I don't have any frame of reference for all that stuff either.
I read the first issue of Echo. Is she involved?
She might be involved too. I'm not sure. Because I forgot about that one. Yeah. I think it's all of his books that they're all coming together, and I don't know exactly. Some of those characters were in towards the end of 25. The 25. 20. I don't know what it was called. It was Strangers in Paradise 25 because it was 25 years later.
Yeah.
So a lot of those characters were in there, but they were towards the end, and I didn't really know any of them, so I couldn't follow on those threads.
Yeah.
But I thought, as far as this is supposed to be like this epic culmination of all these years and all these different series. And this first issue, for one, it was 90% narration by a character that I didn't even know, because it was all by Motor Girl. She was narrating the whole thing.
I thought it wasn't her.
Yeah, so it's like, okay.
Until the very end.
And it was kind of like, all right, this is how you're starting this. This is the opening. And it was okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like, aside from the hydrogen stuff, I didn't feel like we really got a sense of what the story is actually going to be about, or who these characters were for somebody coming into this cold.
The only thing we know is so far they've decided to take the action to hide.
Yeah, and that Kachu has a lot of dreams.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And that Motor Girl is there, and if you don't know anything about Motor Girl, it's like, okay, is the monkey real or not?
Yeah. That was strange.
I don't know. So I know Kat, our good friend Kat, was a big fan of Motor Girl. So I don't know. She could tell us. Yeah, and I would like to. I was interested by the concept of Rachel Rising.
Yeah.
But it got so far into it before it was on my radar that it was like, oh, I got to read 20 issues to catch up to this thing. So,
right.
But yeah, it wasn't the best opening for me. I gave it 3 stars. So for 5 years. So what was your number 4?
Was Dragon's Blood.
Oh, you like Deceased a lot better than I did. Oh, interesting. Okay.
We'll get about to the same, really.
What did you give Dragon's Blood?
I gave it 2.5, only because I felt like it was rushed.
Okay. This is my number 3, by the way, so we can go ahead and talk. I give it 3.5.
3.5. I didn't hate it. I liked parts of it. I liked the direction. I feel like it's only going to be a mini-series, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they should have given us more of the history rather than just those first opening pages of my brother's going to go kill a dragon, and then you find out his mom in like 2 panels that she went to kill a dragon, and they've all died, of course.
Yeah.
And that he's the last one to go fight this dragon. And I understand, but it was like very quick read, and I would have felt more invested if I'd known more about the family.
Yeah. Now, here's my thing about it, and I don't know anything about this character. Yeah. I wonder, though, if he is a character that has played out in later years, like he's somehow survived, or maybe his line has survived.
Yeah.
And they're going to do a time jump of some sort. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's what they're doing at all.
They're going to definitely do something, because the way they ended it. And like, I know that the whole point was to get there. Mm-hmm. They got there too fast, where you just don't care.
Yeah, and so I wonder if there's got to be more to it than that, because the way it was kind of framed was, okay, his whole family's legacy is to kill this dragon, so that's what this is going to be about. But like you said, he gets there and pretty much resolves. I'm not going to say how it resolves, but he resolves this whole conflict within this first issue. So I understand what you're saying. At the same time, I really liked it. I liked the way that it was like this legacy thing, and you got to see some of them go and fail, and he has this big, huge burden on his shoulders, and it's like, why are you following in this? But at the same time, it's like, it's his destiny. He has to do this. And go ahead.
I was gonna say, I guess the reason that I'm disappointed is because I do like it.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a mini series. I would rather
It'd be a longer
it'd
epic
be a
kind of thing.
longer, yeah, because when it's a fantasy thing, it should be grander.
Which makes me think it's not just a fantasy thing, that line is going to continue into the present somehow. Or something. I mean, the way the Zenoscope universe works, there are lands, realms, or whatever they're called that are kind of still medievalish. So maybe that's.
I haven't read enough Zenoscope to really
Well, I mean, it goes into Wonderland, and it goes into Oz, and it goes into all these different places, and then there's Earth, so it can jump back and forth between kind of eras in a way.
I did like it though.
Yeah,
I was probably harsh.
So I wonder if it's going to play into that somehow, and he's going to end up in a different realm or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
I am going to finish it, I think, because I liked it well enough to see how it ends.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what was your number 3 then?
Deceased.
Okay, and you gave it?
I gave it 3, but I don't know.
Okay, so why did you like it better than I did?
I didn't really like it. I just felt like the art was good enough that it deserved it.
The art was good.
And I don't know. I didn't really like it.
But you liked it better than Dragon's Blood in 5 years, apparently.
Not really. I made my list very fast.
No, don't. It's your number 3. There's got to be a reason that you're like, okay, I kind of like that. So, what? Can you pinpoint it at all?
No, because I didn't like it.
I don't understand.
I don't
I'm
either.
confused.
I didn't want you to make fun of me. I thought you were gonna like it more.
I told you earlier I didn't like it that well, so that's
I guess
fine.
maybe I just forgot.
That's bad. Don't ever do that. Come on, I want your honest opinion.
No, I didn't. I liked the opening, I guess, a little bit.
Okay.
I hated the stuff with Cyborg, like you said.
Yeah.
And then it turned. I hate the zombie thing. I like that they figured out pretty quickly that that's what was happening, and there are a few of them that are like Superman went home.
Yeah.
And he got Lois and what is his
John.
name? John. That's probably my favorite part. They figured it out, and he made it home in time to keep them from being infected.
I hate that the art changed throughout the book too.
Did it change?
It was different artists.
Oh, I didn't notice as much in this one.
It changed, so that bugged me too.
Yeah, but I guess that's really the only part I liked.
I think it was that one that it changed. Maybe it was a different book I'm thinking of.
Maybe. I hate that already there are so many people infected.
Yeah.
And that it's going to just get worse and become more and more like that. We're going to see our favorite characters all zombie just because.
Which obviously means it's not in continuity.
It must be, right? It must
can't,
not be.
Yeah, it can't be. There's no way.
Yeah.
So.
I guess maybe that's another reason why I was like, okay, because this is like
It's like their version of Marvel Zombies.
Yeah.
And I hate Marvel Zombies.
It's a good name.
Deceased. Yeah, no, it totally is. I just wish, I don't know.
It was clever.
Mm-hmm. All right, so number 2s. We're going with number 2s. Mine is War of the Realms, number 3.
So is mine.
It is. I gave it 3 3/4 stars.
You gave it 3.5.
Okay. I liked it. I didn't like it. I don't think it was as strong as the first 2 issues. And the main reason that I didn't give it a higher score is because this really was just setting up all these other minis.
Yeah.
You were just throwing all these teams at us and saying, okay, this one's going here, this one's going here, this one's going here. And it wasn't really feeding the main plot as much as much as it was, okay, this is where you're getting dispersed to.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, we just watched Endgame where they had to do the 3 teams.
Yeah.
It was like if we just got a little taste of those and then the movie ended.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
That's true.
Yeah, so and then we were set up for 3 more movies or something. That's the way it felt to me.
Yeah, I agree. The same. It was a little disjointed because they're setting up for all the other teams.
Yeah.
Like you only really care to get to Thor because that's what's gonna save everybody.
Yeah, and that was a really cool scene.
Yeah.
When you find Thor and what has happened there, it's like, oh snap! That's pretty cool.
I never seen him like that before.
Right. So
it's interesting.
Yeah, I thought some of the dialogue didn't really fit. Like Wolverine saying, "Spidey, why are you so dumb?" and kind of thing and stuff like that.
And they keep asking him, "I thought you were dead."
Yeah,
and he doesn't say anything. I don't know how he came back. So it's just...
none of us do yet.
Oh, okay.
They haven't really shown how he came back.
That's
just
why
that he's
they're
back.
just ignoring it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was some. Oh, the Daredevil stuff was interesting.
Yes, I did like that.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, there were really good moments.
Yeah.
And then some
But like you said, it was a little bit disjointed, so not quite as strong. But I'm still enjoying the event overall. So, all right. So that means both of our number one is the same, which I gave 4 stars.
4 stars.
All right. That's Marvel Team Up number 2. Yeah. So I really enjoyed this book.
It was fun.
Yeah. I like this issue better than the last issue, I think.
I agree.
Yeah, because I had problems with the way you told it from the 2 perspectives and the repeated scenes and everything. Yeah. But here it felt much more cohesive. Mm-hmm. You had great art displaying like each one of them in each other's bodies. So Spider-Man's mannerisms when he is Miss Marvel is like very girly and all this stuff and just the mix-ups. It was one of the better done Freaky Friday kind of things that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. I liked that they were smart enough to stay together.
Yeah.
Because they kept switching back and forth.
Right.
Just a little bit. And they both got a taste of each other's worlds.
Yeah. I love the scene. Mom, no, I'm me. Mommy, no, I'm me. I'm me.
I didn't even mind. I thought it was well done, the part where she was bullied at school.
Yeah.
Because of who she is.
Right.
And I thought it was handled well.
Yeah.
And
I like his response to it too. I was bullied, but nothing like that.
Right.
It was, he got to see it from that different perspective. Yeah. And I agree with you. It was handled really cleverly.
Yeah. I also like the fact that she's sort of when she was Spider-Man in the convenience store, she might have given it away.
Oh yeah, Bruno totally knew. He's like,
So that's gonna probably play out, and he's gonna figure it out before the.
Yeah, because Bruno's smart anyway. He went. You don't know much about Bruno, but he went and actually studied in Wakanda because he was that smart. Yeah. So yeah, he's not a dummy.
Right. So I think he's gonna end up being a help in some way.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just fantastic. Yeah. It's such a surprising story because I didn't think it was I thought it was gonna be like this little throwaway thing that's just like, but I love it. Yeah. I think they've got both of their characters down pat.
The art is really good.
The art is really good. Their interaction is really fun and clever and yeah, I would just like read a whole book about this.
Yeah.
So really cool. Yeah. So those are our picks. Stuff. I guess I can talk about You're the Villain a little bit now that we've gone through our picks.
Go ahead. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Spoiler me if you want.
It's okay. There wasn't a whole lot because it was kind of set up and just kind of getting you kind of caught up on what's been going on in these other books because it's spinning out of Justice League with the stuff that's going on with the Source Wall and this I don't know what you call her, Perpetua. She's like this kind of this goddess that kind of created their universe in a way, and she's gotten the power back now, and she's mad. And then it's also spinning out all the Leviathan that's going on in Action Comics, which I know you read one issue of at least. So you got that going on, and then you got something going on with Batman Who Laughs, which I'm not really following that thread of it, but it's all this stuff, and it's kind of highlighting the villains and how things are coming together. And just to give you a quick background on the things in Justice League, what happened is the Source Wall, which is the outlying thing of the entire universe, was busted. You know this.
Is this when they destroyed the moon?
Yeah. Well, it's part of that whole story. The Source Wall, it unleashed that's what Dark Knight Metal came from. Okay. Because they broke this seal and then everything kind of mixed match and all these different forces.
Things are coming out.
Evil things came out. So also out of the Source Wall came Perpetua, which is this, you know who the Monitor and Anti-Monitor, from the DC TV crossover. The last one that we just watched.
Yes.
Okay, so one of those kind of beings, but
Okay.
the mother of those beings, the highest
Oh,
one,
that's
but she's
perpetual.
she's evil, so she was trapped in the source wall and now she's free. And that's
Kind of
kind of
like a Titan that was locked.
yeah. So that's kind of what's been going on in Justice
Okay.
League, and they've been kind of trying to fight against that. And Lex Luthor has seen these visions and everything. He's gotten a Legion of Doom back together, and he's been going after this uh, ultimate power.
Okay.
And in Year of the Villain, he makes this ultimate sacrifice, and well, I don't want to spoil it too much, but something very drastic happens
Okay.
because he sees 10 steps ahead and he knows what he has to do to make all this come into play to where the villains kind of take over.
So he's a bad guy again.
He's a bad guy. Oh, he's totally bad. Totally
Okay.
full on bad. Leader of the Legion of Doom and all that stuff.
Okay.
But he does this thing and it leads to something else that's going to cause for a new version of Lex in the future.
Okay.
So I thought it was a really interesting story. You had 3 distinct stories with different art teams. All of them were very good. The stories were very cohesive. I think the weakest one was the first one, but they were all 3 pretty solid. And it gave you everything you needed to know about what was going on, and it made it seem like, okay, if you're reading all these different books, it's like, oh wow, they actually tie in and are creating this larger tapestry. So I thought it was a fun book, and for 25 cents,
Yeah,
you get all that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty good book. So I actually I give it 3.5 stars just because it was kind of recap and setup. But I think it if they handle it well, it could be a really cool event going forward.
Cool.
So yeah, so that's it.
I'll still try to read it in case we decide to pick that going forward.
Yeah. So we don't have anybody in the chat, so we don't have anything to talk about. I will say we already said we just got back from watching Avengers Endgame. Monday Musings this Monday. I'll give my full thoughts on Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
I might jump in the chat over on Comic Frontline for Media Madness. I know they're going to be talking about it, so I might check in and see what's going on. I don't know. Overall, I like the film.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it too much since there's nobody here we're talking to, but
for people to watch later.
Yeah, we both like the film.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I liked Infinity War a little bit better.
I did too, just mainly because I like some of the characters better.
Yeah.
The Guardians of the Galaxy. I missed it, only being Rocket. It's not as quite as good.
I mean, this movie was a lot darker, a lot grimmer. There was a lot less of the humor that we've come to know from Marvel.
Right.
I think most of it
understandable.
Oh, of course. I think some of it came from Thor. I've been seeing that they got in trouble for fat shaming with Thor.
For fat shaming?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's what that was about.
No, I know, but I'm saying people are reading that into it.
Wow.
Like some of the comments that Rocket made towards him, or what's flowing through your veins is like cheese whiz or whatever they said, that kind of thing. They got under fire for that, believe it or not, which I think is just stupid. But
well, it didn't bother me.
I mean, it's just he
drank his beer belly.
Yeah, he let himself go. It was a little different. Yeah, it was totally a beer belly. That's what that was. He got depressed and let himself go.
Which people should be able to relate to.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they handled that side of it really well. Yeah. I think they handled the ultimate plan really well. Then you got some unexpected things that happened, which were, all the feels. You got all the feels on certain things, but then you set the stage for the next phase.
Yeah.
And I thought they did a really good job with that. Yeah. So again, I'll go into more details. Is there anything else you want to say about it?
I thought some of the Hulk stuff was interesting.
It was very interesting. I like what they did with Hulk. If you haven't seen it, it's a different Hulk in the movies you've ever seen before. Yeah. So
I didn't watch a ton of trailers. I didn't read anything about it, so I was completely fresh going in.
Yeah, so somehow we did not get spoiled all week, so we're very happy about that.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Yeah. And Game of Thrones, do we want to touch on that at all?
It's been long enough, I think. Right?
Yeah, I think so. We're both enjoying this season, this final season.
I'm pleased enough. Is that,
Yeah, I think we're both okay with the
Yeah.
choice of Arya
Oh,
in this
yes.
situation.
That didn't bother me one bit.
At first, I was like, it should have been Jon. Should have been Jon Snow. But then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? It kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So it worked for me.
Yeah. The only problem I have so far is a little bit of pacing issues.
Yeah, I thought this battle would last one more episode.
Yeah.
And that's all. I always thought the last fight has to be with King's Landing, has to be against Cersei. That's what they've been building up to.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. They've been building up the White Walkers too. But that ultimate conflict, that ultimate evil was never the Night King.
Mm-hmm.
It was Cersei.
Right.
So
I like what's happening with Brienne's always been one of my favorite characters. So I liked that moment with Jaime in the last episode.
Yeah.
The night.
Yeah.
Knighting.
Knighting her. Yeah.
So there's just a lot of things I'm really liking. I love that it ended up being Arya because she's trained. She's the one that just really worked at her craft this whole time. So it's good that it was her.
And let's just know she hasn't killed a green eye
yet. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but I'm enjoying it. I think it's a fun time. So
yeah, I'm craving going back to the beginning.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna do that at some point. Yeah,
because of seeing how they built it all up.
Yeah,
like really planted seeds through the whole thing. Like the stuff with Arya goes back to the second season.
Oh yeah,
and like wow, y'all are really doing a good job.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's very. I mean, they're not leaving any thread untied. I think. So they're tying it all up pretty nicely.
So, cool. I'm excited for the next one.
Me too. All right. So I guess that's it. I don't think there's anything else we really wanted to talk about.
Nothing
those two
super
things.
pressing.
Yeah, we still haven't seen Shazam yet. We gotta see that soon.
Maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, maybe. So I guess thanks for watching if you watch this, and leave us in the notes in the comment below what you think of these books that we talked about, what you thought of Endgame. And again, on Monday Musings, I'll go into more detail about that. But other than that, if you like it, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe and notification bell so you get updates on all the other content going up to this channel. Join me on Frontline Live on Tuesday, and you can follow us at Brant Fowler, or follow me at Brant. I always do that now. Follow me at Brant Fowler on Facebook and Twitter. Follow both of us at Last Press on Instagram. And until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you real soon.